Right now, what a day for gold and a very good day for silver. As I make this video, and by the time this video airs, I don't know where the prices will be, but as I make this video right now, gold is up $113, $113 up, silver up another 57 cents. I was reading this article on the hedge today. Is the gold correction over? Question mark. That slight correction we had on Friday, it didn't last very long. I don't know, what did we pull back? About 70 bucks, whatever it was. I don't even remember. This stuff's going way too fast, but that was Friday. That's old news. Today, gold is up $113. Monday, October 19th, 2025. And silver having another nice day, 57 cents. I mean, if silver just did 25, 50 cents a day, imagine where we will be in a year. But it's going to do more than that. We're going to continue to see days where silver goes up $1, $2, gold's going to go up $50, $100 here and there. And it's not going to do it every day. And we're going to have pullbacks. But this to me is a major canary in the coal mine. There is something going on when you see gold up $113. Something is very, very wrong. We have to be really paying attention to what is going on. CNBC, Dow Jones jumps 500 points as rally accelerates Monday on the back of Apple. It's amazing to see the stock market doing what it's doing, completely supported by AI stocks, but all the while, gold up $113, flashing red. That danger is lurking. Markets are ignoring the warning signs. And markets are going to pay a severe price here. Investors are going to pay a severe price because we are going to see the biggest collapse in economic history when it happens. And I believe that they're setting investors up, that people are going to have the rug pulled out beneath them, and they're going to be absolutely obliterated. Also, CNBC, the president calls for Ukraine to be carved up with Russia after tense meeting with Zelensky. So apparently, that meeting with Zelensky on Friday was a huge shouting match. Zelensky and Trump yelling at one another. Isn't it amazing? This guy comes over here begging for money with his, I don't know, what's he wearing, a 511 sweatshirt, whatever he's wearing. And he's out here begging for money. And then now he's yelling at our president to give him Tomahawk missiles, money, God knows what. The president appears now to be pulling his support for Ukraine. And he should have never really had any support for Ukraine. We need to just completely get out of this thing. Trump warned Zelensky that Putin told him Russia would destroy Ukraine if it did not agree to a demand to cede the Donbas region. So, look, Zelensky is going to lose this war, and he's going to have to be very, very careful after this because I don't know. His future does not look good, in my opinion. He probably won't be living in Ukraine. He'll probably be moving to Florida or something and getting out of there. But this guy's got a lot of enemies. And half the country, it's a very, very divided country. Half the country wants Russia to take over. Russia is going to take over. Remember, we were told that Russia was losing, didn't stand a chance. They'll never win. They'll never be victorious. They're taking regions of Ukraine over hand over fist. And it's not going to be up to the United States of America now. Russia is going to do what they want to do. And if they don't like the deal, they're not going to take the deal. They're going to take what they want. That's the bottom line, period. This little warhawk Zelensky has made billions of dollars off the U.S. taxpayer, you and me. This guy's living in mansions, flying in jets, worth billions of dollars because of us, and people on both sides of this war have lost their lives because of people like that. This guy is demonic. He's a war hawk. He's evil. He does not want peace. He wants more war. Half the internet goes down after Amazon, leaving millions unable to use Ring, Alexa, and other apps, as experts say we can't rule out a cyber attack. This happened at 6:35 Eastern time. Please comment down below. Were you affected by this at all? Very interesting. The outage continues to wreak havoc across the globe with millions still experiencing issues accessing sites. This affected banking apps, Amazon.com, Amazon Prime, Alexia, Ring, etc. You know, somebody said, well, you know, Bitcoin's fine. They would have to shut all the electricity off for it not to work. They don't have to shut the electricity off. They can shut the internet off. And what would happen to this country if we did not have access to the internet? It would absolutely freeze everything. Banking, the financial institutions, trading, everything gets shut down. Still have electricity, but we don't have the internet. And everybody's money now at this point is online. People bank online. They do transactions online. And so we are now, again, being given another warning of just how fragile and susceptible we are as a nation to some entity being able to shut the entire thing down. Now, it didn't affect me today, but at some point, we're going to wake up to something and either the grids are going to be down, our water's not working, the financial systems are down, the entire internet is down. What would you do if things were down for 30 days, 60 days, 6 days? This would wreak havoc on most people's lives. I don't even know if the system could run now without the internet. Everything goes through the internet. You want to pay your mortgage payment, your rent, credit cards, all your banking, everything is on the internet. So my advice today is maybe get yourself out of the internet a little bit, maybe have some money put somewhere where you can get to it, maybe have some food and water put away, because what if the stores can't operate because the internet isn't operating, so they can't do transactions? What do you do? Now, maybe some stores will be able to take cash, but many stores can't even do that. They can't even open their cash registers without the internet being operational. So, you know, please get some food and water put away. Make sure you can, you know, protect yourselves. When I read stuff like this, it is another reminder, another warning that something very, very big is going to come. Is that a year from now, a month from now, 10 years from now? I don't know. But to sit here and say that this could never happen now, when millions of people were experiencing issues, and it affected so many different apps, and it still is. This is a warning sign. Please be careful out there. New York Times, lower income Americans are missing car payments. What a shock, what a surprise. You know, a couple years ago, low income people were prime buyers of automobiles. There was no such thing as subprime a few years ago. Everybody got the stimmies, unemployment benefits, money was growing on trees. People didn't have to pay rent. People didn't have to go to work. People were living the good life, thinking it was going to be like that forever. I mean, people were that ignorant to think that this was going to go on forever. You wouldn't have to go to the office. You wouldn't have to pay rent. You could put your mortgage in forbearance forever, and we're going to keep sending you money. Well, now it's time to pay the piper. Now, because of all this, we have massive inflation. The bills are coming due. People are losing jobs. We now have a labor crisis. We have an inflation crisis all taking place. And guess what? People still have car payments and they have to be paid. And the repo man's very, very busy. But it's amazing how things have changed in just a couple years, and how people thought that this was going to it was just going to stay this way and be normal, and how we looked at subprime buyers as prime because they had stimulus money and they had unemployment benefits. And it's just unbelievable. And now here we are, we're supposed to be surprised that people are missing car payments. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below on this. But more Americans are struggling to make their car payments, a sign that lower income consumers are under growing financial pressure. Well, it's not just happening to lower income. People that are making money are falling behind on their car payments also. They just have bigger car payments. The share of subprime auto loans that were 60 days or more past due reached a high of nearly 6.5% in January, and that number has lingered at that level for quite a while. Repos have swelled, and more drivers are trading in vehicles that are worth less than they owe. So they're just rolling the debt over into another vehicle, going deeper and deeper into debt. People just don't learn their lesson. This country, man, we're in big trouble. The Hedge, Paramount is laying off up to, before it was 2,000 people. Today, according to this article in The Hedge, now it's 3,000 employees starting this month. So the labor crisis continues, the layoffs continue. RetailDive.com, nearly all generations, income groups plan to pull back on holiday spending. Let me know are you going to be spending this holiday? Will you be spending more or less than you did last year? Will you be putting it on a credit card? Will you be paying cash? What are your thoughts on this? Christmas has just gotten so corporate, it's almost sickening, but the average person is going to spend money. Consumers expect to spend $1,595 on average this holiday season. That's a 10% drop from last year. But what I find fascinating is that half this country doesn't even have $500 saved up, yet people are going to spend nearly $1,600 on average this holiday season instead of $1,800. Where are they getting the money? You know where they're getting the money. They're getting the money from their credit cards and buy now, pay later. And I wonder how many people from last holiday season haven't even paid off last holiday season debt, and they're going to go out and spend and using those credit cards and buy now, pay laters this year, and they haven't even paid off last year's debt. It's unbelievable. Again, will you be spending? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. But Christmas started in September in most stores. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a bad Christmas overall, but there will be people out there spending money they do not have. Here's another one today from The Hedge. Gold rises to a record 30% of global reserve holdings. Will overtake U.S. dollar above $5,790 an ounce. Again, another reason why everybody should probably own some gold, own some silver. And there's people out there that are going to say, why are you telling people to buy gold and silver? First of all, I'm not telling you to buy anything. I'm sharing with you what I'm buying, what I've been buying. And you know, for the people out there that do have the money, maybe you should be protecting your wealth. Maybe you should be diversified a bit and own some real assets like gold and silver. But I see plenty of people still at these sporting events, baseball, football, basketball, you name it. They're at the events paying $100 for a ticket, you know, $25 for parking, $20 for, you know, a beer and a hot dog. So, you know, there's a lot of people out there making a lot of excuses, but they were probably the people who now are getting their cars repoed, living the good life a few years ago, getting the stimmies and not having to pay rent and all their credit card benefits, and going out and, you know, going to Vegas and buying toys and living the good life instead of maybe taking that money and buying some silver and buying some gold when they could have, when prices were really low. But they didn't. They wanted to live for the day, live for the moment. And now they're crying and they're complaining and you know, asking me why I'm recommending or telling people to buy gold and silver when it's so expensive. Well, let me be very, very clear. It's not expensive. You haven't seen expensive yet. This stuff is just starting. If you think $4,300 gold is expensive, wait till you see where it is a year from now. If you think $53 an ounce silver is expensive, wait till you see where it is a year from now. And the same people a year from now will be saying the same thing because they don't have anything. They already spent their money. They already had their good time. And now they're going to pay a very, very severe price because they didn't heed the warning. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is no joke. You are watching the demise of the U.S. dollar and the U.S. economy unfold right before your very eyes. It's been going on for years. You've been watching this collapse day in, day out, death by 1,000 cuts. It is going to continue. It is going to get worse. So you have a choice to make. Either you do nothing about it and ride it out, or you do something and you protect yourself. TheEconomicCollapse.com, dramatically reduced Christmas spending, soaring defaults, and empty shelves. 14 signs that the condition of the U.S. economy is worse than you think. I'll blow through this one as fast as I can. Just some of the bullet points here on the 14 that it lists. Most of you already know this stuff, but again, it is a reminder. It is reinforcing with you and me just how bad things are and why we need to be preparing. I think people really, it's almost like taking a vitamin daily or getting a daily workout in. We need to be doing this daily. We need to be reminded daily. We need to be refreshed daily of what is going on so we continue our preparations. You know, these are mental and physical workouts, economic workouts that we need to be doing daily. Americans plan to spend less this holiday season. That's not a good sign. If the economy was booming, we'd be hearing about people spending, not holding back and pulling back. As the holiday season approaches, the store shelves are becoming more and more bare. They're going to carry less inventory. Household debt has reached $18.4 trillion. Auto loan delinquency soaring. Zion's Bancorp, Alliance Bancorp, trying to survive a massive hit from the bad loans that they made. Stock way down. Millions of Americans are behind on their student loan payments. 5.3 million are in default. Another 4.3 million are in late stage delinquency. 7, food bank lines are getting longer. Anybody telling you that people aren't lining up at the food banks, they're out of their minds. They're not being realistic. The food lines are longer than ever. Electricity prices rising twice as fast as inflation. Close to half of all restaurants anticipate that they will soon be forced to raise prices even higher. 11, we've seen Americans cook meals at home. We have not seen Americans cook meals at home at this rate since the health crisis of 2020. 12, thanks to the trade war with China, U.S. farmers are facing the worst downturn they have experienced in about 50 years. Fertilizer and equipment costs are up double digits. We may be seeing another Farmageddon. 13, 60% of U.S. workers do not have a quality job at this stage. What are people doing? They're doing Uber, they're doing Lyft, they're doing DoorDash, they're working at Starbucks, they're doing leisure and hospitality type jobs. These are not real jobs. These are not career type jobs. And you're seeing people having to work 2, 3, and 4 jobs. 14, 70% of U.S. workers are working paycheck to paycheck. 15, Paramount just announced 3,000 job cuts. We went over that. 16, the gap between wealthy and the poor continues to grow. 17, leverage in the stock market has been spiking. Margin debt has spiked $67 billion from August, now at a record $1.13 trillion. This is people borrowing money to gamble in the stock market. 18, 57% of Americans expect the economy to get worse. I think that's a very, very low number. And if only 57% of people think the economy is going to get worse, I don't know what the other half are thinking. I would think this number would be much higher. But again, we have a lot of denial out there. We have people living in their bubbles and in fantasy land. Don't live in fantasy land, ladies and gentlemen. Don't live in a bubble. And I say that because gold's $113 right now. Silver's up another $57. Something is happening. Something is getting very, very close to breaking. Keep an eye on the metals. For years, it was manipulated. It was manipulated by the central bank so they could back the trucks up and gobble this stuff up while they were getting people to buy cryptos and getting people to buy, stocks. They were backing the truck up while everybody else wasn't looking and buying this stuff up. Now, they're going to make sure that the prices go to the moon. And if a country, whether it's America or China, the BRICS, whoever takes gold and makes it part of our world reserve currency, or it backs a currency 20%, 25%, 50%, you're going to see gold prices go to a number I don't think we ever could predict. And who knows? Maybe we're going to see a revaluation right here in America. Maybe America will win that race. Maybe that's our only hope, is if we revalue gold, get this debt paid down, and somehow get manufacturing back to America. I know this is a dream. Probably won't happen. But if there's one last chance, one last resort, it's going to be gold. and it's going to be manufacturing jobs. But I don't know. This country is so divided, so broken, so in debt. I just don't know. I mean, there's so many moving parts here. I'm just a C- student trying to connect the dots the best that I can. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. Thanks for tuning in today. God bless every one of you. God bless America. Pray for a miracle. Pray for this country, ladies and gentlemen. So much is happening, but when I see what metal prices are doing, there is something very, very concerning, something we should be very, very worried about. What it is, I don't really know yet, but we're going to find out. We're going to wake up one day and we're going to find out why gold and silver continue to do what they're doing, and it's going to continue to go. I think that this is just the beginning. I think metals can run for years. And look, if you think this is the time to sell, which a lot of people are doing, by all means, go sell, cash it in, get your dollars. But then what is going to happen to your dollars? They're going to just keep depreciating. So I don't know. I don't think I'd want to be holding more dollars than ounces right now. I think now's the time you want to be acquiring as many ounces as possible. Not financial advice, but all you have to do is look at how much purchasing power the dollar has lost in the last few decades. It's lost 98, 99% of its purchasing power. Gold, still buying the same thing it bought 500 years ago, 100 years ago, 10 years ago, still buying the same thing. 100 ounces bought a house in the 80s, 100 ounces still buys a house today. God bless. Have a good day. Be safe out there. Talk to you soon.